It's time to start your morning by taking 5. Here's your host, Matt McMaster.
You're listening to Take 5, a quick 5-minute take on the biggest things happening in Nebraska sports. I am your host, Matt McMaster, and Jamarques Lawrence is back. The former, now current Nebraska point guard who left in the transfer portal last season to Rhode Island is returning back to Nebraska. Welcome to the transfer portal era, Nebraska basketball fans. One day you're gone, one day you return, one day we're disappointed to see you go, one day we're incredibly happy to see you back. Jamarques Lawrence will be back in the Scarlet and Cream for Fred Hoiberg and this Nebraska basketball squad. Good pickup. Very, very good pickup. Nebraska basketball needs a point guard. Riley Wooster is out of eligibility. He will not be back. It's a hole that they needed filled. But more importantly, I like this pickup a lot because you know what you're going to get. There's no mystery here. Jamarques Lawrence, definitely at times had his struggle running the offense at the point guard position when he was with Nebraska 2 years ago. But at the same time, he had his moments where he would go crazy, where he had massive spurts, where he looked like the best scorer on the court. And I think him going to Rhode Island was a real benefit because he had the ball in his hand more. He had to control an offense more. He was more of a focal point of an offense. You hope that experience and that responsibility helped him grow as a player, and Nebraska is going to need that. He's going to have a ton of responsibility as the Nebraska basketball starting point guard. A lot is going to run through him. A lot is going to start with him. And I think there's also a benefit, too, of his familiarity with the program. More importantly, his familiarity with the offense and his familiarity with head coach Fred Hoiberg and knowing how he needs to run and how and what he needs to do in order to find success with Nebraska. So I think that him going away for a year, gaining experience with Rhode Island, coming back, filling a hole, understanding his role, a really good pickup for Nebraska. He's going to bring some scoring to the table. It's nice that you've already locked up your shooters in Connor Essegian and Bryce Sanford. So you don't need to necessarily rely on Jamarques to be that knockdown three-point shooter. You don't need to rely on him in terms of spacing. You got two guys like that, and then you have Rink Mask, who's your stretch four. Overall, I really, really like what Nebraska has done so far this offseason. You add Ugnis Juravicius, and I think he's a really good addition with Rink Mask. He'll be around the rim a lot. You'll see Nebraska play a 4-out, 1-in style type offense. Oogie is what Ugnis, I think it's Juravicius. We'll get better on the pronunciation as time goes on. Oogie is his nickname. He'll be more around the basket. He's a all-MAC, all-conference player coming from Central Michigan, a really good addition to the team. So he'll be in the paint. You can have Rink start outside in. Then you'll have Jamarques running the point. Then you're going to have Bryce Sanford and Connor Essegian kind of playing the spacing role. We'll see if those guys end up playing a lot together with the sky. And there's no knowing what the starting lineup will be for Nebraska next season. And then you'll have some interesting pieces off the bench. Cale Jacobson really came on during the crown. You're going to have Janowski, who is a freshman, Braden Frager, who's a freshman. Both those guys, they redshirted. They'll be coming off the bench next season, see if they can bring anything to the table. Quentin Rhymes will be a true freshman. We'll see what he can do. And then Berke Butingel, I still think there's some meat left on that bone with Berke Butingel. I still think that he's got the ability to be a really valuable wing piece. I think he showed his value in terms of rebounding and on defense, but definitely left a lot to be desired throughout the season, especially from the three-point line. But overall on offense, you never really knew what you were going to get. But so far, I think this team is shaping out pretty good. I like that they're going out and they're getting someone that they're familiar with. They're going out and they're getting guys that can shoot. They're going out and getting guys who have played at a high level in mid-major conferences. I like what they're bringing together here. I still think they need to go out and get another wing. But so far, you're hoping that your younger guys like Janowski and Frager and Quentin Rhymes maybe can bring you something. You still have Sam Hoiberg and Cale Jacobson who could provide some value off of the bench, especially in a defensive capacity. And then you kind of have your core five with Lawrence, Mask, Oogie, Price Sanford, and Connor Essegian. So far, and so good. So far, you got something. You got a team together. You got a team that can compete in the Big Ten, in my opinion. But I still think they're missing at least one more piece, especially on the wing, that could maybe bring this full offseason together. But really like the pickup of a reacquiring of Jamarques Lawrence from Nebraska basketball. So that's been Take 5, and I've been Matt McMaster.